But the Knicks is, like I said on last episode, and y'all seen the clips on the TikTok, and I see the comments all over social media with the clip. Even my Bostonians, they hating on me for saying what I said. Listen, I'm still Boston through and through. You see what colors is lit up right. Welcome back, y'all. Oh my God, I am freaking excited to get back on with you guys. Welcome back to Please Excuse My Balls, brought to you by Dear Legacy Sports. It's your boy Kevin B. the Brand, and this is episode 24. Man, oh man, I don't even know where to begin right now. It's June. It came in with a thunderous roar. If you out here in New England, you happy. But we ain't Delulu though. We not. We understand. We understand that the game still got to be played. Do we have some things that are later in front of us in the pathway of a schedule being slightly harder, but the team got slightly better? So let's rock it. Let's rock out, man. I can't wait to, like, honest to goodness, this is the best time for sports right now. You have literally, by the time you watch this, the NHL Finals kick off tonight. So we'll see who takes game one. Tennis, we're watching upsets happen all over the place. And the NFL showed us why they still king, right? And the NBA Finals kick off tomorrow night. And I'm actually excited for the NBA Finals. For somebody whose team's not in the finals, I am freaking excited because we're going to get to see good fucking basketball. Good offense, great defense on both sides of the ball and of the court for both teams. And I'm like, if you're a fan of basketball, even though I would much rather my Celtics been playing in the NBA Finals right now, like I've been calling all season, but the Knicks is, like I said on last episode, and y'all seen the clips on the TikTok, and I see the comments all over social media with the clip. Even my Bostonians, they hating on me for saying what I said. Listen, I'm still Boston through and through. You see what colors is lit up right. Hold on. In case y'all didn't know and see what's happening in here. Come on, phone. You embarrassing me out here? While that's doing this thing, I still bleed green. And don't ever confuse the situation of me bleeding my green. You see what it is. Even I'm green. Green like the Hulk, baby. But at the same time, you got to call a spade a spade. It ain't gonna be orange and blue skies in here, but for damn sure, I just need people to understand that I am a fan of basketball and a fan of the Celtics all day, every day. And I got a sports pod, so I got to report it how I see it, man. And to be completely honest, I'm loving what the New York Knicks is doing. And dare I say, I said it before, that the Knicks are playing like a team destined to win it this year, right? I think last year they was playing great basketball. They knocked out my Celtics with two great comeback wins. And towards the end, Indiana was just on a hot streak. And let's be completely honest, if it's not for an Achilles, I think Indiana wins the championship. I honestly believe, like, some teams are just playing the best their best basketball at the right time. And this year, I feel as though it's the Knicks. But time will tell when this shit kicks off. What else we got going on? Oh, NFL still reigns supreme with the with a couple blockbuster deals. One of them's insane. One of them we knew was coming, and then you got a little bit of signings that could change a franchise, not because of the player per se, but the leadership that could come from the player coming. We're gonna dive into a lot of this stuff on this episode. We're gonna call this one the championship edition, because that's what it is. NHL's playing for a championship. You got the NBA playing for a championship. Rolling gross rolling, whatever it is going on in France right now. For the tennis. But that's even wild and crazy what's going on in France right now. But let's just jump right into the kickoff and get this party started right. First order of business, what we got going on here? Steph Curry signs a 10-year, $400 million deal with China shoe company Li Ning. I hope I'm saying that right. Taking the Curry brand global. Obviously, it's about basketball, but will feature athleisure lifestyle. But the kicker is he'll be able to sign athletes to his brand under basketball and a full golf line also. This does spark a little bit of controversy as the company Li Ning, a China-based company, is banned from selling products in the U.S. due to forced labor laws. Honestly, good people, Curry just took his brand global. He took his brand global. He has a situation where he now has a basketball line where he could sign athletes. He has a golf line where he could sign athletes there as well. And to be completely honest, we make it seem as if like we're the only markets out here. The game of basketball is a global brand already. So why not take your brand to the global stage? Yes, I understand Nikes get sold everywhere, Adidas's get sold everywhere. The situation that happened between Steph and Under Armour, they severed their ties for whatever reasons it is. I'm not sitting in those rooms with those people. Steph didn't feel as though they was pushing the brand the way they should have been pushing the brand, and the valuation of the company started taking a hit. According to what the reports are saying, I think this is an amazing deal for Steph and his family to take his brand to another level. Steph has always there's certain guys, the Steph, the LeBrons, and these guys, they have been setting the KDs of the world. They've been setting themselves up for life after basketball. And I think this right here is the ultimate play for Steph, who understands, even though I feel as though Steph has some years left in the tank, but I think Steph enjoys playing golf. I think at some point he might do a J.R. Smith situation once he retires from basketball and really takes golf to the next level. I've watched him play in pro-ams and all that. He actually is pretty fucking good. So I like this. I want to see what they come up with. His teammate Jimmy Butler's there. Dwayne Wade is with this company as well, and they've had success with the basketball shoes that they actually have developed and put out to market. A lot of shoe companies was courting Curry once he became a free agent. A free agent, when you a shoe person, you're allowed to wear other shoes. And during his time as free agency, he was wearing a lot of iconic shoes that were throwbacks and odes to old players like Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson. He wore Anthony Edwards. He wore a yo-yo shoe. So like, I'm pretty sure it was fun for him for a quick second, but he understood that he was going to sign a deal. And according to what's being reported, there were some companies that actually offered him more and more money, more what what they would consider better deals. But in the end, Steph decided to go with this company right here, this China-based shoe company, Li Ning, making that announcement official on social media the past few days, and we'll see where it goes. Either way, 10 years, $400 million, sign me up. Sign me up. You know what I mean? And then you get to sign other athletes. I think that's amazing. He was doing that with the Under Armour brand. I think De'Aaron Fox was his first active NBA player to be wearing his shoe. I don't know if Fox still has that deal with Under Armour now that Steph is gone. If I'm not mistaken, so Steph was one of the people that Fox looked up to. So it was an honor for him to be his first signing to his brand. So yeah, shout out to Steph Curry and that family for, securing the bag. Moving on. Speaking of securing bags, even though this is not about a bag, but Serena Williams, stop playing with me, girl. Stop playing with me, girl. When you submitted your paperwork a few months back and had the whole internet going crazy, to include myself, like, oh my God, she is coming back. She is coming back to break the title. To break the record with as much major title wins and all that. And I was one of the people all over the internet reading into you submitting that paperwork, and you came and told us, simmer down, Charlie motherfucking Brown, I am not coming out of retirement. Well, guess what, y'all? Serena, my GOAT of all GOATs across all sports, across all genders, is coming back. Serena Williams is making a comeback in doubles next week at the HSBC Championships at Queen's Club London. Queen's Club London. She will make her debut back after being away from the game after 4 years. 4 years off, and she is coming back, y'all. Do you know how freaking excited I am about this? To see Serena back on the court again, it's so for me. There's certain people that made me fall in love with a sport, right? Football, I fell in love with football playing the game and watching the game. Basketball, I've been a fan since day one, just not good at it. If you see me on a court, you just know I'm only going to cherry pick. I'll give you a little bit of defense until my ankle gets broken, and then you're not going to get defense from me. You better hide me in a corner somewhere. I might give you about 3 baskets and a couple of steals, and I'll talk a hella shit as if I'm Michael Jordan on that court. That's the extent of my basketball career. But Tiger Woods made me fall in love with golf. Serena Williams made me fall in love with tennis, right? Those two people made me sit down and watch these games. Not just when they're playing, but because they were playing, it made me see other amazing athletes in golf and in tennis, both on the men's and women's side. So to hear that Serena returning back to play tennis is like Tiger Woods coming back to play golf. They change things. Even if they have no chance at winning, which Serena probably, 4 years removed, I'm pretty sure she has been taking care of her body. She's slimmed down. She's probably more toned, more agile. So I'm curious to see what Serena we're gonna get. But we know majority of her stuff came from power serves and those aces. Does she still have that in her? And she's coming back not in singles. She's coming back to do doubles, right? So at the same time, the most decorated women tennis player in the open era. We're talking about 23 major titles, one shy of the record, most by any woman in the open era, 73 wins single, 4 Olympic gold medals, 319 weeks ranked at world number 1 on the WTA, 14 major double titles, only player with a career Grand Slam in singles and in doubles, and she secured her bag as well. 94 million in career earnings, highest paid female of all time. That's who's coming back to this game. I never really watched doubles, even when Serena was playing. I'm not a doubles person. I like seeing that one-on-one thingy. But I will be watching the HSBC championships at Queen Club London. It's going to be a time difference, so I'm going to try to figure out the times, and I'm going to give you my updates on that one as that tournament kicks off next week. Speaking of tournaments kicking off, World Cup is finally upon us, guys. We're weeks away. We're weeks away of the World Cup actually kicking off on U.S. soil. I know all my soccer people or football people, however you want to call it, you guys are all excited for this one, as you should be. You know, it's soccer at the greatest stage, representing your country. It's the Olympians of soccer, right? Because it's gonna be so amazing to watch these games. I thought about going to the Haiti matches. I'm going to try to potentially attend one of those Haiti matches. The one that I really want to go to is the Haiti-Brazil game down in Philadelphia. But the way my travel is for this summer, it's all tied up between concerts and traveling and all that stuff, and this is just not part of that. I'll be just like everybody else enjoying the games on the TV. But I did stumble across an article where they had the World Cup rankings on who can win it all for all 48 teams, and they had my Haitian national team ranked at 45. Damn. Third worst out of 48. Jesus, Mother Mary of Joseph. No, fourth worst. Can't even count. That's how shocked I am. Now, granted, I talked to some of my soccer people and they're like, listen, it's great that they qualified, it's great that they're playing. But to think that they're gonna win it all, it's hard to see, apparently. I don't watch soccer that much to understand. I love it when it's happening. I think it's the coolest. When it's like World Cup and Olympic stuff. I tend to watch the women's game more than anything. There's only a few players that I know. When it comes to soccer, like I know the bigger names, the Neymar, the Mbappes, the Cristiano Ronaldo, the Messis. I know the big names, but the people that's around them to know that if this is a good team, that I don't really know, right? I'm just going off of what people are telling me, and I think I've touched this before, but growing up watching soccer World Cups and all that when it does come around is because um Haitians have two national teams depending on who you're talking to, right? Because Haiti never qualified and it's been years since they've qualified to actually play in the World Cup. It was always divided. You were either Brazil or you was Argentina. And that's how, if you 40 years old or a little bit older than me, then you would understand where I'm coming from, why we say Haiti has two other national teams. Now, this year, they have three. I mean, they have two, depending on who you ask, because a lot of Haitians are either going to be rooting for Brazil or they're going to be rooting for Argentina. This new wave of generation, I don't know how they do it, but I know Haiti's in it, and Haiti and Brazil play in the same group. So either way, we win. All right. All right. We are going to have one team represent, whether it be Haiti or Brazil, or maybe they shock the world and it'll be Haiti and Brazil coming out of that group. So Let's run through it. I'm not gonna run through all the rankings, but like I said, Haiti was ranked 45th. You got Canada ranked 25, Mexico's ranked 24, USA is ranked 22. So in the host countries, essentially, because there's, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's games in Mexico as well and in Canada, unless I'm tripping. Am I tripping? Somebody remind me, am I tripping? I don't know. One of y'all will tell me. Y'all notorious for telling me when I'm wrong. They have the middle pack, right? USA 22, Mexico 24, Canada 25. Middle pack. We'll see how, if any of that changes. Top 10 though on that list is at number 10 you got Turkey. Number 9 you got Norway. Number 8 you got the Netherlands. Number 7 you got Argentina. Number 6 Brazil. And number 5, Germany. Oh, I didn't finish that situation, right? Yeah, I'm Team Brazil. Always been Team Brazil. My best friend and brother, he's Argentina. So it's so weird too, because I'm a Kentucky guy. He really a Dookie. Even though I like a lot of Duke players, I'm just not a fan of the Duke program. I don't know why, bro. Man, Kentucky, it was a Calipari thing. I was a Calipari fan. I liked a couple of those guys that came out there. Um, and I get it. My guy Jason Tatum's from Duke, so you gotta respect it. Um, but yeah, anyways, Brazil. Number 5, you got Germany. Number 4, you got Portugal. Number 3, you got England. Number 2, you got Spain, and number 1 got France. Come on, you got Mbappe. I'm a big fan of Mbappe. So, if Brazil don't come out, if Haiti don't come out, you know where I'm going. Take me to France, baby. And that's what I got for you guys in the King of Sports. Let me know in the comments who you got winning it all. Educate me, man. I don't know. They say France is the number 1 team to win it all. I'm a Mbappe fan, but I don't know anybody else that's on that damn team. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a legitimate list, if there's biases or anything. There's really no breaking down for me. So if you would kindly, please oblige and put it in the comment section who you got winning it all. And tell me why you think they could win it all. All right. I'll be very interested to see what y'all come up with. And that's what I got for you guys on the kickoff, where we cover all our headlines. Now let's jump over to the King of Sports, who showed us why they're still the King of Sports. Because while the NHL is getting ready for finals to kick off, while the NBA is getting ready for finals to kick off, you got the World Cup in the United States. You got tennis in full roll out there in London, or whatever the case may be. You got golf in full swing. You got so much happening in sports. And on June 1st, you had 2 blockbuster deals that took over all of sports. I'm going to start off right here with the signings and the deal extensions that came out as of the 1st of June. And we got Odell Beckham going back home to where it all began. For those that don't know, Odell Beckham Jr. started off with the New York Giants, eventually would be was he released or traded? I forget where he what the situation was, but Odell Beckham became to fame when he had his one-handed catch against the Dallas Cowboys on a Monday night game. By far one of the best catches I've seen thus far. There's been some spectacular catches, but to see somebody lay all the way back with one freaking hand, and with that one hand only his fingertips hold on to dear life of that football, and then still wrangle it in for a touchdown, instantly became a meme, instantly became a thing. People started doing one-handed catches, and then OBJ's fame just grew. And this is during the Victor Cruz era, Eli Manning and all that stuff, where they had that nice little run before it was all said and done. And Odell ended up, throughout these years, the man's passionate. Odell Beckham played with passion, reacted with passion, and sometimes it bled over into the games. I think most wide receivers are very passionate players, and if you some like it, some don't like it, right? But He's heading back home. He is coming back home a champion. Had one with the Los Angeles Rams. He got the coveted ring, even though he tore that boy was balling in that game and tore his Achilles. And glad to see him get his ring. And I think this is a great signing for the New York Giants with Malik Neighbors coming back. You don't know what Malik Neighbors you're gonna get when he does return, and it's a young wide receiver locker room. We saw what Stephon Diggs did for our young wide receiver locker room up in New England. So I'm only assuming that the Giants are hoping that they could catch some type of genie in a bottle like that with Odell Beckham returning back home and being a mentor in that locker room. I think it'll definitely benefit the New York Giants more than hinder them. I think Odell is more mature nowadays. He's older. He knows how to take care of his body, even though it just keeps fucking with him. But it's always good to see veteran players like Odell Beckham get a slot on a team and actually earn his slot on the team, not just because he's just a name. He's still a talent. Speaking of wide receivers, Drake London gets an extension for 4 years, $141 million, worth up to $150 million with $100 million guaranteed. Let me tell you something. I rode Drake London all the way into pause. What the fuck was that? Pause on all of that. I had Drake London on my fantasy team, and he gave me numbers. Even when he was injured, when he was out, he gave even when he was out, I never dropped him, and when he returned, it was as if nothing ever changed. I think he had one bad game when he returned for me, and he did his damn thing. He earned every dollar that he just got here. 4 years, $141 million, worth up to 150 with incentives and $100 million guaranteed. Come on now, you can't be mad at that. Get your money, young fella. Well deserved, well earned. Speaking of getting that bag, Nick Herbig signs a deal to remain in Pittsburgh for 4 years, $100 million with $42 million guaranteed. Congratulations to that man. Now let's get into that first blockbuster deal that happened on June 1st. One that we did not see coming. Cleveland. Cleveland told us Myles Garrett is not going to be traded. They don't want to trade him. They will not trade him. They redid his contract and made him the highest paid non-quarterback at the time. And I'm sitting there. I'm looking through certain things, and I believe I was already done with my run of show with the things that I wanted to talk about. And breaking news, Myles Garrett traded. So I saw that and I was like, wait, what? I ignored this shit because I only kept checking my phone that day for the trade that we knew was going to happen. But I was starting to get nervous a little bit, even though they said it wasn't until 4 o'clock. But all day I kept checking my phone. Every time I got a little zzz, I wanted to see if that trade got consummated or not. But focusing on this one, then I actually opened my phone at one point, at one period of the day, and I was like, oh, wait, who got traded? Myles Garrett gets traded from Cleveland to the Rams for Jared Verse, a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick, and a 2029 third round pick. I said, hey, what? Jared Verse is a talented young player, 24 years of age, former defensive rookie of the year. And I am a firm believer that everybody is always up for trade. You can't tell me that nobody's not tradable unless the only people that they tend to not be tradable majority of the time is franchise quarterbacks and somebody like a Myles Garrett. But Myles Garrett requested a trade. Trade got denied, never got the trade that he was looking for. and they ended up giving him a massive deal. And when you would think, okay, he's gonna be in Cleveland for life. Wrong answer. I guess Cleveland had a price. You get 3 picks, 1 first rounder, a second rounder, and a third rounder, and then you get a young player to replace the player that you're losing. I sit here and I look at this, and for Cleveland, it's smart, right? If you're gonna lose the player, get somebody at his position who is just, I'm not gonna say just as talented, because I think Myles Garrett is a generational talent. I think Verse has the potential of being a great player. He's proven himself. But one thing I know about the game of football is some people eat because of the people that's around them. Jared Verse could be a situation where he is that good because of the system and the team he played for. No disrespect to that man. I'm pretty sure he could mollywop anything that's standing in front of him. But I think in Cleveland, I don't see you being able to eat as much because they don't have that same front four that you're leaving from in LA, right? In terms of Myles Garrett wanted to be in contention for a Super Bowl, and by all accounts, to include myself, I am hard pressed to say that the LA Rams, who got knocked out by the Seattle Seahawks, not because of the play of their offense, but because of the play on their defense, since then has gotten a top cornerback. And now you're telling me you can lock up the back and have a generational talent in Myles Garrett rushing the quarterback? Because what didn't happen against the Seattle game? They never got to Sam Darnold. He got to do what he wanted to do offensively, and he picked apart that secondary because nobody was getting a rush to him, couldn't even sneeze at him. So that's how Seattle made their run. And if I'm the LA Rams and you did not think you was going to get Matthew Stafford back because he was going to retire, he decides to come back. You have no choice but to put all the chips in. And they've been doing that. You know, you're talking about one of the highest rated offenses from last year, behind or equal to, no, I think his numbers ended up better than Drake May and the New England. Excuse me. Excuse me, Jesus Christ, who raised you? And the New England Patriots, right? You're talking about great wide receivers, a run game, a cerebral quarterback that has a cannon of an arm still at his age. And now you go and give him a defense. It's hard to say that the LA Rams will not be playing inside their stadium for the championship this upcoming February. And Vegas agrees with me. Vegas has the Rams as early favorites to win it all at 600 to 1, I believe. That's insane. Like, I believe, and I don't know where they started, and I have to go back and look at but I believe they was already top 3, but this, like, barring any crazy injury, it's hard to see how this team does not make it to the Super Bowl. You're talking about a team that one play, they're now the number 1 seed in the NFC. And they potentially could make it out of the NFC into the Super Bowl, and they're the ones playing the Patriots. Possibly could have been still the same outcome, just not as bad. I would have liked my chances a little bit more against the LA Rams because of their secondary. I feel as though we would have been a whole lot more competitive in that game. But whichever, I think, I honestly do believe this move with Myles Garrett does. I agree with Vegas. I think, I don't know about winning it all, but I do believe this team will come out of the NFC. I don't even have to, I've already told you guys I don't plan on giving you any real concrete answers on what do I believe the Patriots and win-loss schedule will be. I do believe the Patriots will be a playoff team. I don't think they're going to drop off that drastically. Are they going to crank out 14 wins? Based off of what I see right now, based off of the team constructed from last year, with this new addition, I think picks up another game. So maybe we're at 11. But before at quick glance, I had them at 10, 11. I will put them probably somewhere around 11, 12 this time around. I think they did good moves in the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, where we knew we needed help the most in. They, in the draft and in free agency, went out and got them some offensive linemen. And then second blockbuster deal that we knew was coming, but was just waiting for the finalize. AJ Brown is officially a Patriot. Welcome home, AJ Brown. Welcome home, AJ Brown. And it didn't cost a shit. AJ Brown gets traded to the Patriots from the Eagles for a 2028 first round pick and a 2027 fifth round pick. I like that. I like this because and the reason why I said a deal that we all knew was coming but just had to wait is because it made sense for the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to part ways with AJ Brown. I think that shit broke down in season. You showed us in the draft, you showed us in free agency that you are going to move on from AJ Brown. You just can't move on from AJ Brown yet. And the reason why you couldn't move from AJ Brown is because that the dead money hit that they would have got if they traded him before June 1st, then they would have to take a $40 million dead money cap hit. But if they trade him after June 1st, then they would only take a $20 million dead money cap hit. So it just made good business sense for them to wait to trade AJ Brown, and everybody kept saying it's almost, and I kept saying, I think the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles had a deal already in place for June 1st, and I think it was going to take somebody to come out and wow the shit out of Philadelphia for them to actually move AJ Brown anywhere else. But everybody else that was in the sweepstakes decided to move on from it, but the Patriots stayed vigilant on the matter, like the Rams did as well. With the Rams, it was one of those situations where they didn't want to trade away Verse, but in order to get the deal done to get Myles Garrett, Verse had to be part of the deal. So staying persistent like the Patriots were, making sure that you're staying on that phone, is how we ended up with these blockbuster deals. And now I'm not going to say one of the glaring issues that we had last season, because it wasn't last season. It didn't happen until the playoff run. And even though we made it all the way to the Super Bowl, you saw in moments that we needed, as much as we love Stephon Diggs, we needed that true number one. That true big body number one, so where we could actually stretch out the field. Here's why I'm excited about this. This actually reminds me of when we went out and got Tom Brady, Randy Moss. Am I saying we're about to break records offensively? Can't say that. No. I don't see AJ Brown catching 23 touchdowns in one season and Drake May throwing for 50 touchdowns. I don't see that. But What I do see is this locker room that you went out in free agency and you got Dobbs. You now traded for AJ Brown. You have Keyshawn Booty in your off. The thing that I like most about this deal is we didn't have to give any players away, unlike the Rams. The Rams had to give away a up and coming star player, former defensive rookie of the year, in order to get a job done. They had to give away a first, a second, and a third, where we only had to give away a first and a fifth and no players. So that means our wide receiver room and any other random players that could have been attached in this deal, we now have that, a true number one. We still have good tight ends led by Hunter Henry, and AJ Brown is going to have for AJ Brown, you have to shadow and bring that safety over the top, because not every corner is going to be able to keep up with an AJ Brown, right? Especially in a Josh McDaniels offense with Drake May's escapability, which changes from the Tom Brady Randy Moss situation to AJ Brown, Drake May. Drake May could get out the pocket. Drake May is cerebral also, to the point where it's like, now you give him a big body target that he could throw downfield in the seam, and we still have tight ends and other wide receivers that you have to account for, right? And when Hunter Henry's going off up the seam and you now bring that safety over, now you give him one-on-one on the outside, or you got to put a nickel back in in order to cover AJ Brown. You go and play cover two, we're going to eat in the middle. We're going to expose your linebackers, because now you got to either put a linebacker on Hunter Henry and to have that safety over the top, and for help out with AJ Brown. I believe the trade of AJ Brown with this locker room, with Josh McDaniels, year 2 with Vrabel McDaniels in Drake May's ear, we should see another leap. And we have a run game that you have to respect. We have running backs that could come out of the backfield that could catch the ball as well. So we could send all verts and then have a running back coming out of the backfield, a one-on-one with an outside linebacker. Wrong answer. Because we see what Henderson could do when he gets them wheels going, he out. And we have Josh McDaniels. I honestly believe this signing, I could easily say that the New England Patriots is at a 11-12 win season. I'm upgrading before the final roster comes out of all teams, of our roster and other teams, and then comparing the schedule. I am going with blind faith 11-12 win season. It ain't gonna be 14 like last year. We had a favorable schedule for sure. Of that favorable schedule, we still got to play the Jets twice. We still got to play the Dolphins twice. In my opinion, that's 4 wins right there. You split with Buffalo, that's 5 wins. And then we take the rest of the schedule as is. Now, yeah, we got to play Denver. We got to play the who else is on our freaking schedule? I don't even know who else is on our schedule. But even again, like I said, with the signing of AJ Brown and the wide receiver room that we currently have, it's hard to say. Okay, that's preseason, regular season. We kick off with the Seahawks. You got the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. You got the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. You got the Raiders with Mendoza. We lost to the Raiders last year. Weird loss. Jets, Bears, Dolphins, Packers, Lions, Chargers, Bills, Vikings, Jets, Broncos, Dolphins. Yeah. Yeah, based off of last year and how these teams competed, I could see why this is the 6th hardest schedule of the season. Am I overly concerned? And the Chiefs in there late too, so that means Pete Mahomes is gonna be in that game. Be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I will do a full breakdown on what I think after we get down to final cuts, because then I get to see who's on what team and then who left to go to another team based off of cuts, right? So let the best team win. But I am still so freaking excited that we got AJ Brown. I honestly truly believe that we're building something amazing in New England right here. I do stand by. I feel and know that the Patriots, even with that crazy schedule I'm looking at, is a bona fide playoff team. You can't tell me otherwise. You just can't. So, a couple other notable free agents that are still out there. Wide receiver Stephon Diggs, who has not closed the door about returning back to New England. If I'm New England, why not? We got the player that we wanted. Go to Stephon and be like, yo, listen, you trying to compete for a championship. You ain't gonna be number one, but you're definitely gonna be a solid number two. And we'll push Keyshawn Booty out to fucking three. Well, shit, it'll be Dobbs to three, and the Keyshawn Booty will drop down to four. So maybe they don't make that. Maybe they just hold pack with what they have right now. Who else is still out there? Defensive end Joey Bosa. We still need some help at pass rusher. He ain't the same. He ain't the same Bosa as he used to be. Dealt with a couple injuries, but I don't see how you don't consider something like that. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel, like all the wide receivers that are still out there. I think with the signing of AJ Brown, our true number one. That makes Josh Dobbs number two. Is that his name? Josh Dobbs? Dobbs. I'm just gonna say Dobbs. Dobbs moves down to number two from number one. I think Keyshawn Booty plays the solid three on that wide receiver depth chart, and tight ends are good, and you got a couple good backup wide receivers. I think you should be good, unless you're Jesus Christ, excuse me. It's late, guys. I'm so sorry. Unless you bring in if you bring in a Diggs who knows the playbook already, um, why not bring back another safety blanket for Drake May, and you have AJ Diggs and Dobbs, Booty. Your numbers drop a little bit, but I don't see the team getting rid of you. You're a big frame. You have a connection with Drake May. You're developing. You're young still on a cheaper contract, so why not? Um, who else is out here? Defensive end Jordan Cameron still out there. An older guy, but still finished with a solid season last year with I think 9 sacks. 9 sacks on the season, so he still got something in the tank. Defensive end AJ Epensa, but I don't know what team he was trying to make a deal with, but they just released that they are not moving forward with his deal due to a failed physical, I believe it was. So I don't know. Maybe we get him into our building and see if it's something to consider. Um, Bobby Wagner's out there. When I saw that one, I was like, he's not the same Bobby Wagner that played in Seattle as part of the um inside of the LOB regime, but he was a vital part of those Seattle runs. Um, you talking about pass rushing and could cover a back coming out the backfield. Not the same wheels that he used to have, but something to consider right there. Jadeveon Clowney is still out there. We got a couple safeties, some offensive linemen that are still out there notable. I think they're gonna stay packed at their offensive lineman position, barring any injuries or crazy play during the preseason. And quarterback Russell Wilson is still out there. Um, Last year, shit, I don't even know what team he was on last year, to be completely honest. I think he was with the Giants. But he's still out there. I think I think Russell could be a great backup somewhere to a young quarterback. Like, prime example, you could bring him into a New England to have as a backup in the event of, but the backups that people have right now are less interception prone players. So we'll see if Russell ends up on a roster this season in a pinch. I think that's still a good quarterback. And he is still a mobile quarterback. Let's close out the King of Sports with this. Like I reported earlier, the Rams jump out to early favorites to win it all. 600-1 with the Patriots getting the seventh best odds at 16-1. The Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs are the only three AFC teams with better odds than the Patriots. I believe the Ravens are 10-1, the Bills are 13-1, and the Chiefs were 16-1, if I remember correctly. All I know is it's gonna be a great NFL season. My brother had texted me the moment the deal went down. He was like, "We're going to a fucking game." I was like, "All right, just let me know." Uh, to be honest, I don't know if I want you to let me know because I don't like going to my sports teams when they lose, and I'm like, I gotta look at this schedule for the home. Like, what's the home games looking like before I commit to something like this, paying my hard earned dollars just to watch my team lose. I don't play those games. Let's see what we got going on here at home. The Steelers, that'd be a good one. The Raiders come to town. The Jets. Well, I want to see good football at least. The Packers. The Vikings come to town. The Broncos come to town. So there's a couple good games on the schedule. Not bad. And my Patriots got a lot of primetime games too, boy. Let me tell you. And with that being said, that's what I got for you guys for the King of Sports. Let's go ahead and jump down to In the Hunt. In the Hunt is where we cover everything Major League Baseball. And by everything, I mean nothing. Because my Red Sox still suck donkey ass. All right. These mother suckers are now 25-33. And just I'm not watching the games, so I'm not gonna sit there and judge too much. But 25-33, Jesus, mother love of God. Like, are you telling me that this is gonna be a wash season? People was telling me and making me feel good about this team and telling me that they're a team to watch and yada yada yada, blah blah blah, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. This is a bad team, and ownership needs to own that they put together this bad team by being cheap and not wanting to pay players, and players not wanting to come here during free agency because you don't pay and you utilize and you ship off. We've watched you do this. This has been your formula. And we watching all these other players that were in our facilities, in our grass, and we could have retained. Instead, we just let walk right out the fucking door. But it is what it is, man. I can't sit here. And in the game of baseball, I can talk all this shit. And in 3 weeks from now, they now have an even record. 6 weeks from now, they're up by 10 games by 500. And then next thing you know, we're talking playoff. And then I'm gonna jump right onto that fucking wagon like, yeah, and be disappointed. In any event, speaking of disappointment, it looks like there is still a massive gap between the negotiations between the MLBPA and the Major League Baseball over the CBA. Key issue being the salary cap with a floor and a ceiling. The floor proposes $171.2 million and the ceiling being $245.3 million. With that, if they were to agree to that, the owners are willing to do a 50-50 revenue share split. Hopefully they get together, but the problem here is you are trying to essentially put the genie back in the bottle. These athletes have been making ridiculous amount of money, and teams have been circumventing things and stretching out salaries in order to work in their favor to sign players. So now you're looking at these dudes saying, hey, instead of me being the first $100 million per year average player, this is not going to work, because if the ceiling is 245 and I'm making 100 million, how is the organization going to put a team around me? So the players are not going to want this, because they're always going to want all their money. Rightfully so, right? Because you got to go through all those dreaded fucking double A, triple A, and all that stuff before you get called to the bigs, and you're not making shit money. So when I do make it to the bigs, I want to catch the fucking bag, and then the bag after that. But I love the fact that you actually have a salary cap with a floor and a ceiling, because some of these teams, not my Red Sox, because they do spend a little bit more money, but at the same time, I think when they was talking about this, is about 12 teams that would have to raise their salary just to hit the floor, and there's about 13 teams that has to shed salaries in order to get under the ceiling. And I like this. This is how you get true parity in the game, and people out here being able to construct and build good teams, and you can't fucking circumvent it by getting a bunch of cheap ass fucking players so your ownership could keep all the dollars in their pocket, right? For me, I actually think that it does need a fucking salary cap. And I hope that they do come to this the seat and actually agree to this, and put a salary cap in baseball. And let's see if the Dodgers are really the Dodgers. Because when they sit there and play Shohei Ohtani $10,000 on the season, but then stretch out and give him a bonus for $50 fucking million, and then they could fucking extend the rest out and then spread it across different, too much shit. 171 is the floor, 245 is the ceiling. And that goes including to my fucking Boston Red Sox. I don't care. I don't care if you're going to fucking get rid of those players anyways, so it doesn't fucking matter. At least everybody's on the same fucking playing field. Off of the in the hunt now at this point. Let's jump down to Beyond the Lines. Beyond the Lines is where we cover the game of golf and tennis. And a lot is happening in the world of golf and tennis. Let's jump over to the PGA. Last week, Russell Henley took the Charles Schwab Challenge with a win in a playoff hole at 18 against Eric Cole. This week, the men are heading to Dublin, Ohio to play for the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. That's what these guys will be playing. I don't know how many weeks are left until the next major in PGA, but they have some strong tournaments. The fields be pretty good. Out in these weeks. In other news, I'll be heading out to Eastern Country Club to play against my rival Donald Jeffries. Uh, yeah, and by rival I mean the motherfucker just keep beating me, but whatever. We'll be playing at his country club this Friday. I had a strong showing the other day at Old Scots Link for my first time playing in Mass. Finally, the weather cooperated to get a round in. I went and played a round. I scored 85 or 86, which is not bad. Then today I went out with Caden. Rather than driving all the way to his course to play for practice with his PGA team, I was like, listen, brother, ain't no better practice than practice for real. And we went out to DW and got 9 in. That was okay. For the 9, I got a 39. But I can only imagine what I would have done on the back 9. So I doubt I would have cracked 80 on that one. That's my goal this season, is to crack 8. Is to hit 80 And if I could do better, better, but I doubt that. I think 85 is like my average right now, so it is what it is. Over on the women's side, world number 1 Nelly Korda looking forward to the US Open after her second place best finish last year. She secured another major at the Chevron Championship last week. In the world of tennis, boy oh boy, shit done hit the motherfucking fan. The last remaining American is now out, with Francis Tiafoe losing in 5 sets on the men's side. With the highest remaining men's player is number 2's Germany Zverev. Zverev. Zverev? Zverev? How do they be saying that shit on TV? Zverev? I think that's how you said it. I don't know why I tilt my head like this, like a dog listening to something. But also on the women's side, we watched Keys Osaka golf all fall, paving the way for what seems to be a path for Sabalenka to actually win it all. But we've been watching a lot of upsets this entirety of this tournament in France, and who knows who will be the next player that we think could win it all and actually falls. Either way, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. We're definitely getting a new championship on both the men's and women's side at Rolling Gross this year. That's all I got for you guys inside. What segment was this? Beyond the Lines. Let's jump over to On Ice. Okay, guys. Another sport that I don't really know, but I have to report it, and I'm excited because you all know I love playoff time. All sports. I love playoff time, all sports. I think sports is amazing. And they just give you that feeling. They bring people together. Whether you hate their rival teams and all that shit, is still something that no matter what, we all share. Some of us are rabid fan bases out there. Some of us are Dululu fan bases out there. But one thing I know is this week kicks off the play for Lord Stanley's club. The Carolina Hurricanes have made it out of the East, and the Vegas Golden Knights made it out of the West. Carolina came in as the number 1 seed, been dominant all playoff long. I'm talking about dominant. Swept Montreal in the conference finals. They legit been on a fucking mission. Vegas though, Vegas was a number 4 seed. Came in as an underdog and knocked out Colorado, the number 1 seed in the West, in a clean sweep. So you got the top dog versus a team that wasn't even supposed to be here. And what makes Vegas even more disrespectful, they only been a franchise since 2017. So that means they're only 9 years old. They won it all back in 2023, and now they're looking to go back and do it again. But Carolina is still favored. But Vegas, underdog Vegas, you already know, they live to prove people wrong. Just getting here, they've proved people wrong. But tonight, game 1 kicks off, and I'll be curious to see what happens. Definitely gonna lock in for that one. I don't understand everything that's happening or whatever the case may be. I know a little bit. Let me not say I don't understand. I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot of bit, if that makes sense. I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot of it. So I just tune in. Honestly, if there's nothing else on, I'm gonna tune in. And there's usually always something else on because my DVR is damn near full. But I think this is gonna be a great series. For me, give me the underdog. I'm going with Vegas Knights to win it all, win their second championship. I think this will be like, I think they only know the fucking playoffs since they've come into fruition. Also, that could be a fucking lie, but who knows? Who cares? Somebody in the comments is gonna know and care. But that's all I got for you guys in on ice. And we gonna move on to Court Vision. Not much to really report here on Court Vision. Like I said, the WNBA, they're early in their season. Right now they're getting ready to go do the, what do they call their in-season tournament thing. They're getting ready to start it. It's something cup. No, I almost said Solheim Cup. That's a golf. That's a golf one, for the women's side. But they're getting ready to start their Commissioner's Cup. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Commissioner's Cup. Their in-season tournament. It should be interesting to see how that one goes. It that really doesn't tell you anything when you. It ain't like the New York Knicks wasn't winning the Emirates in-season tournament and now they're playing in the finals against the Spurs who played in the in-season tournament and now they're playing in the finals. That's a coinkydinky. I don't think that's plays any bearing or holds any truth to that situation. But moving over to the NBA side, everybody out here riding the Spurs. And I don't think they're wrong, but I also don't think that they're right at the same time. Rock with me here. Rock with me here. Wemby is a story. And when you 7'4", block shots, handles the ball, shoots threes, he's genuinely nothing we've seen before. Like, it's insane what this man is doing on a basketball court. He just beat the number 1 seed, OKC Thunder, in Game 7. And the fool only 22 years old. So those that are playing in the West, y'all gotta be wondering, like, fuck, what the hell we gotta do? Because there ain't a bunch of fucking 7'4" motherfuckers that could actually ball. Now, are there tall ass motherfuckers in this world? Hell yeah. But they ain't Wemby. They ain't tall and agile like a shooting guard and could drop a three in your eye. Like, ain't no tomorrow. And then they got an arsenal of players behind them by De'Aaron Fox, and they got Dylan Harper, who's only 20 years old and been balling all playoff series. Defensively, doing his thing. And I think he's averaging damn near 15, 16 points a game. San Antonio is looking and knocking at the door for their 6th championship. And really, if you think about it, are built for the next, call it 7 to 10 years. They're built for this. That's the scary part. So if you out west, man, if you need a home team, depending on who you are, the Boston Celtics will take you on because the West is gonna be stupid, baby. Because OKC not going nowhere. And for damn sure, the San Antonio Spurs not going nowhere. Everybody else, y'all could be going somewhere. Cancun, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. But even with that, I said it last week. I could see why everybody's riding and picking the Spurs. But like I said, those that are saying the West, and now that we know who's coming out of the West, the Spurs are going to sweep the Knicks, you're utterly insane. I'm not going to sleep on this Knicks team. Not today. I want to say not never, because the way y'all be in my phones, man, it'd be crazy. I get it. The game tomorrow. Let's see how it rolls. And I'm the type of person, I tell you all the time, I don't overreact to game 1. I don't. Because after game 1, I want to see who's making the right adjustments. If whoever wins, are you coming out there ready to fucking take game 2? Or are you just going to be like, well, we got 1, we could split. If it's the Knicks, great. Your job is done. Long as you split, you took home court advantage. If you're the Spurs, you want to start off hot, on fire, ready to go, and show the Knicks like, yo, this ain't the in-season tournament, and for damn sure, y'all ain't just gonna be bludgeoning us to death like you've been doing these other players. But we'll see what happens. Because one thing's for sure, the Knicks haven't been to the NBA Finals since 1999, y'all. 27 years. And the last time they were there, guess who they played then? The San Antonio Spurs. So one would like to believe that this is a rematch of some unfinished business, but the teams have changed for so many different ways in these past few years. I don't think this is a rematch to shit. I just think this is going to be 2 great teams that plays defense, that plays offense. They got star players. Now, there's flaws to both teams. One thing I saw is everybody's asking who's going to be guarding Wemby. But my thing is, and I agree with the pundit that said this. What are you gonna do with Cat and Brunson? They're not some world beaters on defense, and we know a lot of times they get hidden in the situation. But I think even with him not playing the best of defense, Jalen Brunson is playing out of his fucking mind. If he wins this, he joins Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry as the only two players, two guards that are 6'2" and under, an undisputed headliner of a championship team. That's the type of shit that Brunson's playing for right now. Every time the Knicks had a chance to close out the series on the road this postseason, they did it. All three times. And it all starts with their defense side of the ball. And even though I say what you're going to do with Cat, I say what you're going to do with Brunson, Cat actually been balling. And that takes a lot for me to say because I'm not a Cat fan like that. But this postseason run, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this Knicks team. Sorry. You guys know how I get when I talk good about this New York Knicks team or anything New York sports related. It's not good. I think this finals is going to come down to not just Brunson and Cat. I think my two X factors on the Knicks side, in order for them to actually make this a competitive series like I think it's going to be, 6 to 7 games, I think it's going to come down to Mitchell Robinson, who just had surgery on his finger, but reports are saying that he will be available for game 1. So Mitchell Robinson is going to be an X factor, in Mikal Bridges. Or Micah Bridges. Micah Bridges? Micah Bridges. I think those two, Micah's offensive scoring, he's going to need to be the number 2 one of those games. And then in all of the games, he needs to be playing the best defense he possibly can on either Harper or Castle. And when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, you just got to do what you've been doing. Clean up them glass, get a second chances. Because if you're giving Brunson and crew second chances, it ain't going to be good for you, San Antonio. Yo, I can't believe the Knicks have lost only 2 games this postseason run, guys. But at the end, the Spurs are favored to win by what a large margin, 63%. And the reason is just simply Wemby. People believe and are enamored with this whole Wemby situation. New York hasn't won this joint since 1973, and this team has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, I could easily see this series going 6 or 7 games for sure. So I'm pretty sure y'all want to know who I'm picking, right? And in my head, I want to say the Spurs. My gut is telling me, though, the New York Knicks. I really don't want to answer right now. And I want to wait, honestly, I want to wait till game 3. Because by the time game 3 is played, it'll be on Monday and I'm going to record on Tuesday. So by then I actually could have seen all the adjustments needed. Because I told you, I can't overreact to the first game. I can't overreact or underreact to the first game. I don't also want to overreact to the second game because just because you made adjustments doesn't mean that it's going to carry over. So game 3, to me, especially if you split, now, if you split, and I believe this series is starting in San Antonio, so if you split, that gives home court advantage to New York Knicks, and then game 3, you got to go to New York. You know how bad and nauseating those fans are about to be. for game 3, their first finals appearance in 27 years, every celebrity under the sun is going to be out there. Every person in New York is going to be out there. It's going to be insane. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I will be in New York for game 3. Not in the Garden watching the game. I'll be in New York City when game 3 is happening. So yeah, there'll be a couple watch parties out there. Maybe I'll attend one, but I'm the motherfucker that's gonna show up in some Celtics gear. Like, who gonna stop me? So let's see. I really just want to make a decision after game 3, but that's a coward's way of doing it. I'll say this. Defense is going to be key and extra chance rebounds. Those margins are going to be won by the New York Knickerbockers. Therefore, I think this thing is done in 6. I honestly believe in 6. I think the Knicks take one in San Antonio. Given the situation where the Knicks have been sitting and resting, they're fresher. Mitchell Robinson is available, they said. And you got Big Body Brunson that in the fourth quarter is his time to go. Josh Hart is going to be grabbing some boards. Michael Bridges is going to be a problem on defense. And I like the defense that the San Antonio Spurs play, but at the same time, all right, I'm going around in circles, guys. Here it is. I think the Knicks win this in 6. If they don't pull it off in 6, I don't know if they go back to San Antonio and take another game. I think they split in San Antonio. I think by the time we get to game 5 back in San Antonio, I think they take game 5 and come back home and close it in 6. Fuck. I hate saying that, but I can't go. Logic tells me the San Antonio Spurs should win this series, but I can't work off of logic. This team is defying all logic to me. They've been defying all logic since last year, and this year they're healthier. And Mitchell Robinson being a heavy dose of that healthier concept that I'm talking about. So you heard it here first, guys. Knicks in 6. Shit. Oh my God. My phone is going to be nonstop. Let's go ahead and start to wrap up the show, guys. Let's go into the legacy moment and a final word. Speaking of those New York Knicks, I do believe I want to take a minute and sit back and make you guys really understand what we're watching right now or will be watching. The New York Knicks are on a historic run right now. That historic run has had them sweeping 2 franchises out of the playoff to get to the NBA Finals. It's not easy to sweep an NBA team. I don't care what anybody says. Even the worst of teams could still get 1 game. They lost 2 games by equivalent of 2 fucking points. Buzzer beaters in both of those games. And they haven't lost since the first round. They've 11 and 0 over the last 11 games, obviously. But it all starts and ends with Jaylen Brown. And the reason why I want to talk about Jaylen Brown, Jesus Christ, that's for Boston. Jalen Brunson. The reason why I say that is because Jalen Brunson did something a few years back. He took $113 million pay cut so that the team could build something better around him. In a day and age where everybody want to get their bag, which is rightfully so. Everybody want to get the bag. Everybody want to be the man. But here's this one player that says, I know I'm him. I know I'm going to earn my money, but I want my championship more. And what better to go win a championship in the town that your father could not bring it? No disrespect to daddy, but if I remember correctly, he was part of that last team that made that run. You go and win this championship, there is statues being erected of Jalen Brunson, Cat, Josh Hart, Micah Bridges, everybody that they want to change street signs about. This team is a team of destiny. And I said it last week. This is why I'm picking the New York Knicks in 6, because of Jalen Brunson. When he made that decision those years ago to take a $113 million pay cut, it changed the direction of this franchise. And now they're about to cash in on the fruits of their labor. I could also be saying Knicks in 6 just so I could jinx their asses, but I honestly do believe that. I honestly do believe it. I think it's going to be a hard-fought competitive series, but if I'm the Knicks, I do not let this go to 7. Because if it goes to 7, then that means you allow the Spurs back in. On my last legacy moment before we close out the show, guys, Serena Williams returning at the age of 44, nearly 4 years removed from the sport. Yes, she'll be competing in doubles at the HBC championships in London, partnering with 19-year-old Victoria Mboko. And real talk, guys, her sister came back last July at 45 years old. So these Williams sisters are truly defying all odds right now. I mean, you can't write this shit up. The two sisters that dominated the game and changed the game since they were teenagers are still at it in their 40s. And it got me thinking, right? It didn't get me thinking like it came the thought by myself. I heard it while I was sleeping, or I might have read it somewhere. But it made me think about other notable comebacks, right? Like you got the Michael Jordan comeback. I'm talking about the Chicago one, the 45. When I come back at 4-5, it's to aim at you, not to play with you. And Jordan came back from baseball in 95 and won 3 more rings after retired. Brady unretired after 40 days and went down to Tampa and won a Super Bowl at 43. This is what I'm hoping for Serena Williams. It would be great for her to play long enough to get to a major and actually win a major to break the tie and with her 24th major title. You can't forget about Tiger Woods not just a few years ago, came back out of retirement. Well, not necessarily retirement, but was in that fatal car crash where he could have lost his life, damn near almost lost his leg, and came back at 43 with all those injuries to win the Masters. I don't think people understand how hard that is to have had almost lose your leg in an accident to go and play one of the hardest golf courses out there with all those rolling hills, as much walking as you got to do for 4 days. And this man came and won it at 43. Jordan, Brady, Tiger. 3 people that are on my GOATs list. Goats of GOATs list. And now Serena's trying to supplant herself, even though she's already there. But put herself in a class of airness. if it wasn't already there. But keep in mind, there's also the Jordan Wizards now too. There's also other people that has attempted to return back at a later age or back from serious injury, and it didn't fare too well for them. Roger Federer, after all those injuries, Muhammad Ali, still boxing past his prime and taking all those bad beatings in the ring, which some would say that it altered the trajectory of his medical health history. But one thing we got to keep in mind also is Serena never told us that she retired. When she walked away, she called it an evolution. So maybe we got to frame our minds as saying the real question is this even really a comeback? Because if she never left in her mind and then she always left that door open by saying she never retired, she's just evolving into motherhood, evolving into a businesswoman and all that other stuff, which she is her faux show at 44 though. It's a good testing ground for sure to see if she still has that hunger, to see if she's still ready to put it all on the line. And one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I ain't never betting against Serena Williams. But at the end of the day, what happens next is going to be Serena Williams' legacy moment. She's either going to add to the legacy or put a dent or chink in the armor of the legacy. Time would only tell. Till then, please subscribe to Please Excuse My Ball. Like this episode, follow us on social media, and tell me where I went wrong. I didn't, but you could try. Till then, go debate yourself. I said what I said and I meant it. It's your boy Kevin B. the Brand. See you next week. Peace.